Learn from the ones who came before.
And lay the trail for the ones who come after.
There's so much to say about Clair Obscur Expedition 33, it's difficult to figure out where to even start. From the moment I launched the game to the moment the final credits rolled, I was completely mesmerized and immersed in the story, music, and world created by Sanfor Interactive. And it's one of the greatest prologue sequences I've ever seen in gaming history. I knew I was in for something special. Throughout my entire playthrough of roughly 70 hours, I was constantly guessing what would happen next and trying to overcome epic boss fight one after another to uncover more of the mysterious story portrayed by a stellar cast of voice actors who made each character come to life in a way that is rarely seen in video games.
Do you?
I hope I do.
Without spoiling anything, the story takes place in early 1900 France in a fictional city called Lumiere, where 60 odd years ago the world fractured and life for its inhabitants would change forever, as a mysterious and seemingly all-powerful entity referred to as the Paintress began writing a number on a monolith each year, and with every passing year, every person of that age or higher would be erased from existence, with the number each year decreasing by 1. As a result, each year a group of brave volunteers known as expeditioners set out to this island to try and uncover who this entity is and how to stop her, with almost no one ever returning. It is here where the story begins, with you and a group of expeditioners who set out on a journey to this mysterious island to uncover the truth and try to save the world from this doomsday clock that each year ticks ever closer to midnight. Throughout my journey Expedition 33, I found the story was a major driving aspect, making me hungry to keep pushing and try to take down one more boss to uncover more of the story and unravel its mysteries, only for one question to be answered by creating several more questions in the process. Yes, Expedition 33 is that kind of game, and it will really challenge your understanding of the world as you are confronted by many abstract and thought-provoking concepts that will often be up to you to interpret. And having a great voice acting cast and graphical quality certainly helps bring the narrative to life, with many renowned voice actors such as Andy Serkis, as well as Charlie Cox, and many more who portray the characters in Expedition 33 in a way that can only be described as flawless. It is truly impressive witnessing the chemistry the characters have with one another, with their interactions often feeling like they've genuinely known each other for years. And with exceptional writing to go along with it, each moment I spent with these characters felt like I was momentarily transported into their world, sharing the same feelings of joy, fear, and despair, and everything in between. In this level of writing that is truly impressive, with every character interaction and encounter feeling like it carries with it deliberate weight and storytelling, even the optional side conversations often shared deep and tragic stories to help flesh out these characters further. And a world filled with so much tragedy, it is no surprise that each character has a very unique perception of life and death, and being able to peer into their world and understand their thoughts and motivations was something truly special, where I found myself often needing to take time just to unwind and take in the elements at play. I love how Sanfor Interactive managed to make me want to seek out every little drop of backstory and lore in a way that most video games fail to do. I never skipped a single piece of dialogue or glanced over any journals because I was constantly wanting to learn as much as I could about the characters and their world. Speaking of the world, Expedition 33 creates a world with a sort of hybrid open world with confined areas for you to explore and progress certain story missions. It feels very similar to that found in games such as God of War, and I spent so much time just exploring the world that I often just got completely lost, taking it all in and uncovering the beautiful locations, only for the next location to somehow be even more gorgeous than the one before. I often find myself just aimlessly running around, looking up and all around me, just trying to take it all in, with every detail looking like it was painstakingly created, like a painting brought to life that you can explore. One aspect that I was a little bit skeptical about going into Expedition 33 was the fact that it was a turn-based game, and I've always found myself preferring real-time mechanics over turn-based games, especially in narrative-driven games. That being said, Expedition 33 managed to win me over, and after sinking 80 plus hours of the game, I have a hard time imagining what it would be like any other way. Combat will set you and your allies against groups of 1 to 3 enemies at a time, and each group taking turns attacking one another. One aspect that I really liked about Expedition 33 is that it has many real-time elements to help keep combat always feeling tense and fast-paced. With high emphasis on dodging, parrying, and managing action points, otherwise known as AP, and many mechanics being inspired by and borrowed from Souls-like genre, one can only describe combat as a turn-based Souls-like. With many epic and grueling boss encounters that will push you to your limits, especially on the harder difficulties, gameplay always had me sweating and trying to min-max my build to take down ever-increasingly and more challenging boss encounters. Expedition 33 doesn't hold your hand, but instead gives you guidance to learn and adapt and improve your skills in order to overcome the various challenges that you will encounter. I found myself constantly needing to adapt to various enemies and incorporate new skills and items found throughout my world in order to deal with the many enemies and boss encounters that proved exceptionally difficult in my playthrough.
Hurts.
Boss and enemy design, like every aspect of Expedition 33, is stunningly done, with many wondrous, epic, and sometimes just downright bizarre enemies that you will face throughout your journey in Expedition 33. There's also no better feeling than encountering a high-power boss that you just can't seem to beat, but after taking the time to learn its moveset and attack patterns, and the feeling of finally being able to take down that tough boss that you initially thought was impossible, it is such a rewarding feeling that makes combat feel so fresh and exciting. It also helps when the soundtrack, especially in boss battles, is just so epic and really helps you lock in at times as you battle epic boss while dodging and parrying their attack rhythms, and simultaneously having these epic encounters made even more exhilarating with a phenomenal music score that stretches almost 9 hours worth of in-game soundtracks. Seriously, it's astonishing how fantastic the soundtrack in Expedition 33 is, with so many unique and varied soundtracks that come in different genres and tones to constantly immerse you into the atmosphere or encounters that you come across in the game. I think the soundtrack of Expedition 33 is probably the best soundtrack I've ever had the pleasure of listening to in a video game, and I'm almost certain, if nothing else, Expedition 33 will at the very least win Best Soundtrack at the Game of the Year Awards. Yes, it really is that good. Almost every aspect of the game is phenomenally done, and I actually struggle to think of any criticisms to give to the game. However, I suppose one aspect of the game that could be seen as a negative is I did find the late game, especially the final act of the game, to be a little bit on the easy side, with my characters able to do into the millions in terms of damage, and the final boss being defeated in mere seconds, even on the hardest difficulty. I suppose I only have myself to blame, as I did decide to do as much side content as possible before going to the final act and perhaps leveling up way past what was intended. It was just a shame there was no enemy level scaling or caps in place at this point to protect the final act from enthusiastic gamers like myself from breaking the game with overpowered builds.
Let's cover path.
Expedition 33 has achieved something rarely seen in modern gaming. With so much push towards live service, early access, and mass-produced games, it's refreshing to see Sample Interactive create a world with so much painstaking detail, love, and care. And with such a small studio of just over 30 developers, it's a technical marvel to see what was achieved in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And with it being free on Game Pass and only $45 elsewhere, I think it goes without saying that Expedition 33 is a must-play title, and you would be doing yourself a disservice by not picking it up. I cannot wait to see what Sample Interactive can achieve in the future, and with this being a stellar entry point for them as a studio, it is easily one of the best games I've ever played.